My name is Natalia. My age is 28. And I'm from Recife in Brazil. I think some of the early signs that I had ADHD growing up, even though I didn't notice it at the time, I could never really sit still anywhere. I would talk to anyone, regardless of where we are in supermarket lines. When I was in second grade, we used to sit in like pairs in class. And at first I was sitting next to like a friend of mine, but then teacher moved me because I was talking a lot and moved me next to like someone I didn't even know that well. Talked to them too, moved me next to the quietest person in the class, also talked to them. And then eventually she called in my mom and said that even though, I was doing well in class and I was dedicated, I distracted anyone that sat next to me and I had to sit alone, which was really sad. But yes, I have always been really talkative, I've always been really fidgety, and I've always interrupted people a lot.
Mas você é abaixo, Bruno? Não. Que você é mais alto que eu. Não, mas tem que...
I always daydream a lot, I've always lived in my head a lot. I think because I talk so much, it doesn't seem that way, but I don't know if that's something that's necessarily ADHD or just me, but talk a lot and always like daydreaming, simultaneously here and out of it. Yeah. I only got diagnosed for ADHD when I was in college, so pretty late. It could have come earlier, for sure, would have helped. Actually, I was seeing a psychiatrist for depression, anxiety, and we were struggling a lot because I think like the medication was helping, but not as much. And he decided to present me with a test for ADHD. I don't know, I guess how I had seen ADHD up until that point is you're not really capable of focusing on anything. You're always distracted. You probably have a lot of trouble with like schoolwork. I had always like done well in school and I am distracted, but I also can really focus on something. So I never really considered that possibility until he brought it up. ADHD has impacted my personal relationships quite a lot. First things first, I'm always late. I was late here, in fact, to record this, and I'm sorry. I am chronically late. And again, don't know how much of this I can blame on ADHD, but I do think I have really bad sense of like time and perception of time in general. Like I will do something repeatedly and still really believe it takes this amount of time when it very clearly doesn't. I think one thing that I try to consciously work on a lot, because people have told me about, is interrupting them when they're talking. And I've heard this is something from ADHD, I don't know, but when someone is telling you something, you get really excited when you have a similar experience because you want to bond with the person and tell them, oh my God, me too. But sometimes it seems like you're just talking about yourself and you're just making it like about yourself. So I think trying to pay attention to that like level of excitement when someone is talking and actively listening, because I am actively listening, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm not. I don't want people to feel like I'm not paying attention because I'm interrupting, because I'm probably just really excited about what you're saying.
Heavenly Father, no. Heavenly Father. E tem uma coisa que eles falam que é NECMO, que é non-committal make-out.
I have found medications that are helpful with handling ADHD. I take Vyvanse, and I've also taken Ritalin, and they've both been very helpful. Like I've mentioned many times here, I also have depression, and I think the medication for ADHD is far more helpful than I think it affects you differently. It takes effect, quickly. You actually feel differently immediately. Not immediately after like some time, but you can feel that you're focusing more. You have to be careful with how you focus, and you still have to give yourself some sense of direction. Like when I first started taking this, I can take it and then hyper focus, which is also something that people with ADHD do, on a really specific topic. Like I had to write a research paper, but I spent like 2 hours reading about sharks because I saw one shark video. So the medication will obviously help you be focused, but it's still you, it's still your brain. Like you still have to run it, and you have to direct that focus. But the question was about which therapies and medications helped me. So the answer is Vyvanse and Ritalin.
You had to all turn around. Like,
I circled back. Yes.
Circle back to it.
One like coping strategy or like mechanism that helps me get things done, with ADHD. It's called body doubling, and it's when how I would think of it is the guilt you feel that someone else is there, seeing you be this messy and chaotic and not get things done. But it really is just having someone like sit there with you and they'll do their own thing. Like I've had a friend come over and literally watch TV as I clean my apartment. I think having the accountability not only to yourself but to someone else that isn't demanding that of you, because if someone is also like, did you get this done? They're just doing their own thing. They have their presence there, and that's enough to help you focus on getting something done.
5 minutes. I have to say 5 minutes.
Some of the misconceptions that I've encountered when it comes to ADHD, I think firstly is how ADHD can present differently in boys and girls, and I think this is part of the reason why it took me a long time to realize that I had ADHD. I think the main way ADHD is seen is sort of like you're very hyperactive, you have trouble with like impulse control, and it can be different in girls. It can manifest more as inattentiveness. The advice that I would give for women that think they might have ADHD but haven't been diagnosed yet is definitely read about how ADHD presents in women. I think if you're just basing it off of the general knowledge and perception that people have of ADHD, that can very often not be how it's going to present in you, in women in general, but also in you. So definitely read more about how it presents in women of a certain age. Obviously, if you're a child, you're not going to be taking my advice, but obviously if you're a child versus an adult, these symptoms will present differently. So I think read about it and go talk to someone about it.